Honda is the biggest manufacturer of two-wheelers in the world, and it has achieved that status by selling millions of small-capacity motorcycles in developing markets. At the same time, it is a company with a long history, and a lot of pride, being a successful manufacturer in the various racing disciplines it competes in. This company has long been a dominant force in the world of motorcycles, producing machines that excel in performance, innovation, and reliability. From dominating the racetrack to offering thrilling road-going superbikes, Honda has created some of the fastest motorcycles ever built. So if you are wondering which ones have the most speed, then allow us to curb your curiosity with this list of top 10 fastest Honda motorcycles of all time. Number 10. Honda VFR 1200F. The VFR Sport Tourer series of motorcycles had only the VFR 800 in its lineup, until the VFR 1200F was put on sale in 2009. What was unique about it was the shaft drive and the automatic dual-clutch gearbox, the latter being a very new technology for the time. The 1200 also had a number of other unique features. The engine was a V4, but unlike other V4s, the forward-facing cylinders were the outside cylinders, whereas both inner cylinders were the ones that leaned backward. This was done to narrow the waist of the VFR, and make it more accessible to shorter riders, but it also afforded the engine better primary balance, neglecting the use of balancers. The result: less weight, more power, and of course, more speed. The top speed of this bike reached to 165 miles per hour, equal to 250 kilometers per hour. Number 9. Honda NR 750 RC40. This model of Honda is probably the most valuable, despite being a failure by Honda standards. The NR was supposed to be a 4-stroke race bike that competed with the 2 strokes of the time. But it needed to generate the same amount of power, which is why it has distinct oval pistons. Its development was delayed due to innumerable difficulties, but Honda eventually managed to get it to work. In 1992, only 300 were put on sale with incredible tech that wasn't seen in road bikes at the time. Titanium conrods, carbon fiber bodywork, and a digital speedometer were all space-age tech for the public, and the NR had it all. The NR 750 could reach a top speed of 160 miles per hour, equal to 257 kilometers per hour. Number 8. Honda CBR 600RR. Honda's CBR 600RR Supersport machine has won more races and championships around the world than most can remember. This machine has existed in one form or another since the early 1990s. Although the days of traditional 599cc Supersports seem to be numbered, the CBR 600RR hangs on for another year. The payoff for sport bike enthusiasts is a no-compromise, high-revving inline-4 that screams its way to acclaimed 121 horsepower at a sky-high 14,000 RPM. Peak torque is 47.2 pound-foot at 11,500 RPM. The CBR 600RR comes with a suite of electronic rider aids that are enabled by its ride-by-wire throttle and 6-axis IMU. Features include Honda selectable torque control, wheelie mitigation control, and adjustable engine braking. Top speed of this sport bike is 165 miles per hour, equal to 265 kilometers per hour. Number 7. Honda RVT 1000, RC51. This motorcycle was produced between 2000 and 2006. Honda called this model the RVT 1000R in North America, and the VTR 1000 in Europe and Australia, but its most popular name remains RC51. The RC51 was developed to compete in the World Superbike Series and copied Ducati's extremely successful design with a 90-degree V-twin powering things. Of course, while retaining all the characteristics of a Honda. It won the WSBK Championship the first time out in the hands of Colin Edwards, then Ducati took the title back, and Honda went straight to the drawing board to whip up the second-gen RC51 called the SP2. This road bike was even closer to the race bike. The top speed of RC51 was 171 miles per hour, equal to 275 kilometers per hour. Number 6. Honda CBR 929RR. The correct name for the CBR 929RR would be the CBR 900RR, third generation. It was manufactured and sold at the same time as the RC51, but it followed a different route to performance, with its inline 4-cylinder engine. As a result, it made more horsepower and a smidge more torque than the RC51, but it made it much higher up in the rev range. 150 horsepower at 10,750 RPM, and 76 pound-foot of torque at 9,000 RPM. The CBR 929RR debuted the Fireblade's first set of 17-inch rims, 330mm front brake discs, a swing arm that was mounted directly to the engine, and a titanium exhaust with Honda's HTEV exhaust valve system. The top speed of the 929RR reached to 176 miles per hour, equal to 283 kilometers per hour. Number 5. CBR 1000RR, 7th generation Fireblade. In 2004 the leader bike class hit back hard. Not only did Yamaha launch an all-new YZF-R1, Kawasaki unleashed the fearsome Ninja ZX-10R, and Honda got in on the act with their first liter Fireblade model, the CBR 1000RR. Heavily inspired by the firm's dominant RC211V MotoGP bike, a certain Mr. Rossi was dominating on. The new blade had everything the old model lacked, and as well as a funky underseat pipe and all-new liter motor, boasted a MotoGP-style swing arm, electronic steering damper, inverted forks, radial brakes, a new frame and a sharp look. A blade for the next generation had arrived and it was really rather good. Top speed of CBR 1000RR was 176.6 miles per hour, equal to 284 kilometers per hour. Number 4. Honda CBR 954RR. The CBR 954RR was the last of the CBR 900RRs before the CBR 1000RR replaced them. It built on what the CBR 929RR had, with more power and less weight, producing 151.5 horsepower. However, examine the figures carefully, and you'll notice that it had just 1.5 horsepower more at higher revs, and the torque figure had dropped off. The top speed was the same story. It gained 2 miles per hour over the model it was replacing, at 178 miles per hour, equal to 286 kilometers per hour. Honda knew that incremental changes weren't working for the Fireblade anymore, and it took the bold decision to revamp the series completely. The result was the first generation CBR 1000RR. Number 3. Honda CBR 1100XX Super Blackbird. Honda developed the CBR 1100XX with one specific goal: to become the fastest production motorcycle in the world. Its Super Blackbird designation was a reference to the Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird, which was the world's fastest aircraft at the time. It might not have had the same amount of power as the CBR 954RR that launched 8 years after its own debut, but its carbureted engine was a marvel for the era, putting out prodigious torque from its 1,137cc 4-cylinder engine. Reaching a speed of 188 miles per hour or 302 kilometers per hour, it broke the speed record and took the crown from the Kawasaki ZX-11. But its joy was short-lived, because Suzuki was working on the same goal and took the crown away 3 years later. Number 2. Honda RC213 VS. The Honda RC213 VS was a limited production street-legal motorcycle derived from Honda's RC213V MotoGP bike, one of the most successful MotoGP bikes of the 4-stroke era. The 213 VS shares the same 1000cc 90-degree V4 engine, as well as many other parts developed from the MotoGP race bike. The production bike came stock with just 157 horsepower but has an optional sports kit that bumps power up to 215 horsepower. The ultra-exclusive model was produced in 2016, with Honda stating it intended to build 250 bikes maximum. The Fukushima earthquake laid a halt to production, though with closer to half that amount built in total, according to rumor. Achieving a top speed of 200 miles per hour or 320 kilometers per hour, this motorcycle got the title of second Honda's fastest motorcycle of all time. And finally, number 1, and faster Honda's superbike of all time, Honda CBR 1000 RRR, Fireblade SP. The latest generation Fireblade is as sharp as they come. The newest iteration of the venerable CBR 1000 RR now comes with an extra R included, with the 1000 RRR Fireblade SP, sporting 215 horsepower and 83 pound-foot of torque, making it the highest power series production motorcycle available in Honda's model lineup. The Honda CBR 1000 RRR Fireblade received major upgrades in 2020, including increased power and many other small upgrades, in an attempt to stay competitive in the World Superbike Championship as a homologated model. The bike screams up to the 14,500 RPM redline, with the 6-axis IMU electronics derived from Honda's MotoGP program helping put that power onto the ground. The top speed of this bike is limited at 186 miles per hour, but if you remove the limit, it can reach an incredible speed of 211 miles per hour, or 340 kilometers per hour. Well guys, which one is your favorite? Share your comments with us. Thanks for watching, and see you the next one.